Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you some insights that I've gained that should hopefully help you quit the job you hate, if you do hate your job, and shift into a situation where you're doing what you love for a living. Doing what you love and supporting yourself and actually receiving a sufficient amount of abundance as a result. It's possible. It's possible now in this new age. It's possible now with a growing consciousness within you that has now higher expectations and wants to express itself more in a more unfiltered and pure way. It can seem in the past that is not the way. You can't have both. I can do that. I can draw and paint on my own time, but I need a job that I don't really like, that sucks the life out of me and drains my energy and accumulates stress in my body. It makes me hate life. I gotta have that. You don't. You don't. I'm living proof of that. I've made the shift, and you guys can too. And this is gonna be a video about how to do it, how I did it. It's gonna be more of a spiritual perspective on the matter. And what I did exactly is, of course, maybe not going to apply to you, but there's a fundamental spiritual transition that anyone can make. And I'm not just saying that based on my own experience. I'm watching my clients do it. I've been watching hundreds and hundreds of people do it over those last year. And I want to share with you the fundamentals, the necessary foundation that will allow you to do the same thing. If you resonate with that, perhaps you're lucky and you love your job, in which case, hats off to you. Number one, this sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do it, is you have to admit to yourself that you actually want the different situation. It's scary. I remember I was in a fairly decent situation that on paper was fine. I was a medical marijuana grower, I owned a personal training gym, and I had a decent amount of time freedom, I guess you could say, compared to most people. I was financially set. I owned a nice home. My daughter was in a nice private school. We drove like newer vehicles. I could go on vacation. I felt good. But it's not what I actually wanted. The imperfections of both of that whole situation started to become more consequential, became more hard to live with. The stress about having the gym, the undeniable fact that what got me into starting a gym, which was to help people improve their lives, there was a complete disconnect. And all I was doing was managing employees and doing internet marketing and all this shit. I hate it. The medical marijuana grow operation. I love to grow weed. It's awesome. Any of you growers know it's a beautiful thing to be around the plants and to care for them. It's a complex hobby, but doing it on a mass scale was exhausting. It was a job. It made me hate something that I love. And they were both so stressful. It was literally deteriorating my health. Even when I was off of work, I was still at work in my mind. My family was starting to feel that. I was not present with my wife or my children or even my pets. And my house was kind of falling apart a little bit. I wasn't able to upkeep it. And these jobs that I needed, they were literally sucking the life out of me. But what I really wanted would require such a drastic change, I was afraid to want it. Because whenever I'd really entertain what I wanted to do, which was to be across the country, living out west, shooting YouTube videos, living the laptop lifestyle, not having a brick and mortar business or stuff I had to do. I wanted to be completely free, where I could be myself, work on myself, and help thousands of people. That's what my heart wanted. But that was such a scary thing to admit that I would restrict myself from entertaining that notion a lot, because of what it implied. It implied I have to move, I have to make this crazy ass transition that I had no idea how to make. So for a long time, I just stayed in a situation that I knew deep down was not ideal, was not gonna last. I even had that notion that you can't resist, Victor, but I did. I clung and I suffered and I stressed out and I became a person I didn't want to be, and it got to the point where I had no choice but to let go. But once I did, once I allowed myself to admit what it is I really do want, then all the divine guidance and the synchronicity, and it worked out in such a mind-blowingly perfect way but that could have never come as I clung. Number two, if you can do that, which is not easy, then you have to really open up your mind to all the infinite amount of possibilities for the how. So you allow enough room for the how, the specifics, the plan to unfold. It's likely not going to be something that you can just map out. It's for a lot of us, it's very complicated, which is why we choose to stay at a situation that we really don't like, because we really believe that we need to. We don't see another way of how we could let go of this and like not run out of money or not be completely miserable. But there is a way. You're not going to figure it out. You, the ego, the mind, don't even try. It's your higher self. But it needs the permission from you to allow it all to kind of work its way out. And a lot of the ways it worked out, at least for me, were things that my mind had qualms with and problems with. Oh, we can't do this. I don't want to experience this worst case scenario, so I'm going to ignore this possibility. And I had all these walls I built up around this situation. But those walls were eventually bulldozed over, as it oftentimes goes that way. And the way it worked out was just so perfectly in sync and complex, and there was such an orchestration and a plan all along, and all I had to do was really let go and follow my inner guidance and do the next right thing. But again, that's not easy. But if you really want to make this shift, you have to really trust that you have to put trust in, not in yourself, not in your mind. You'll feel hesitant in doing so, because you can't help but deny the limitations of your mind's ability to work yourself out of such an intense situation. But your soul can. Your soul will see the whole situation from the mountaintop, and it will trickle down into your being an inspiration or an intuitive knowing or synchronicity, and all you gotta do is follow it. If you just keep following one to the next, to the next, to the next, and don't question, because they're not going to seem, they're going to seem all over the place and unrelated, but you're going to see, you'll look back and say, holy shit, oh my God, that was just amazing. And then once you make this transition, not only will you be happy and free and abundant, and just your health will improve, everything about your life will go through the roof in the positive direction, but you will have that amazing experience under your belt where now it's like nothing. There's nothing you can't do, because you know the power you deep within has to carry out your dreams and make them a reality. That is a possibility now. Number 3 is you will be required to take bold, imperfect action against the apprehensions of your ego. I made it seem kind of easy. Your higher self looks here and says, there's a synchronicity there, and let's do this over here. The next step is usually pretty clear. It's the I can't do that. That's crazy. That doesn't make sense. That's scary. No way. It's all the inner resistance to the divine guidance. It'll be there. Your guidance will be there. The next step will be in plain sight. But it's not easy. You'll have to just take bold and imperfect action. Your mind's going to have its complaints. Well, what about this? Oh, it'll just have its it'll have its resistance, essentially. You're going to have to just ignore that shit and just go for it. And then you're going to have to do that again and 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 again. But after a whole bunch of those agains, it'll start to prove itself. You'll start to see the picture taking form. You'll see a lot of the things that you thought were going to happen if you took that leap of faith never happened. It worked out. There were so many unforeseen fluctuations and variables that you just couldn't see, and all the things that you dreaded never really played out, and here you are kind of being ushered along on this path that you're so excited to be on. But preceding that will be you making the courageous decision to take action. It's a time of courage. It's a time of hustle, and there's one more thing. And it's a time of faith. Courage, hustle, and faith is required for this massive transition. So how is this going to play out, Vic? Is this the roadmap? No, it's not. There are no guarantees. This might not work for you. And you can't, good luck pretending that's not the case. But that's the fun. No risk, no reward. That's the payoff. That's the payoff is so amazing. But having done it myself, I would invite you to go for it. I think you might surprise yourself. But this is serious business. This is something you really have to consider very carefully. It's not for everybody, but it's for a lot of you. A lot of you resonate with all this craziness I just got done talking about. A lot of you will do this, even if you are kicking and screaming and holding on for quite a while like I did. I didn't do any of this correctly, mind you. I did a piss poor job at every step of this transition, and it still worked out for me. So I think a lot of you, seeing more examples of people doing this, I think you're going to have a lot smoother of a transition than I did. And hopefully, if nothing else, you can see it's possible. So anyways, my friends, that's my honest take on what it is required to do, as I said in the title. Quit the job you hate and do what you love for a living. And everything in your life is going to improve drastically as a result of you doing that. If nothing else, you become a warrior. You become so strong and faithful. The person you become, I didn't even get into this, but the person you become through that journey is going to be a greater and grander gift than whatever specific situation you're going after. That is going to pale in comparison to who you are, who you've become. When you close your eyes and just be with yourself, you will be different. You can do it. Anyways, my friends, that was a little different one for my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed it. It's what I want, a message I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you got something out of it. Have an amazing day. I'll see you soon. Namaste.